Hi, welcome to the Cash Flow Talk, and today we will be talking about insurance and how does it pertain to your investment properties.
Hi, welcome to the Cash Flow Talk. My name is Camilo and this is my wife Michelle, and today we wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between a DP1 policy and a DP3 policy for investment properties, either for your rental portfolio or for the rehabs that you're working with. And also I want to touch a little bit about homeowners policy and what difference does it make. Perfect. So basically a DP1 policy is a very basic policy for properties that only cover wind and fire damage. We have our business in South Florida, and every year we get hit with hurricanes, or at least we don't get hit, but we have expectations, or we're expecting big winds to come in during the hurricane season. So investors need to cover our properties, and especially if a property has a mortgage, the mortgage companies will expect the homeowners or the investors to have insurance in the properties. And
it's super important to have somebody who's qualified and an expert in your team about insurance, because depending on the location of the property, depending on your real estate business goals as an investment, there's different policies available. So what we do, we have our agent. He's amazing. His name is Cephas, and we have him on speed dial, basically. We can call him on the cell phone. Even before we make the purchase of the property, if we know we want to rent it, we'll consult with him to see what kind of insurance policies are out there, because if we're renting it, we want to make sure we're cash flowing and that it will be a good deal even once we put in the insurance. So make sure you have an expert in your team that knows everything about in your area about insurance.
Absolutely, and make sure he understands your business. Yes. This is a topic that I don't love, insurance, as well as health insurance. Every year now with these Obamacare, we need to renew, and I don't know the difference between co-payments and deductibles and all those things. Well, homeowners and DP1s and investor insurance policy, they have the same type of language. And to be honest with you, I hate it. I don't like dealing with that. So when something like this comes up, I call my guy, hey, Cephas, I have this type of question. What's going on? What type of inspections do I need? What type of insurance policy I should get? And he understands my business. He understands that for me, cash flow is bigger than anything in my business. So if there's a way that I can get away with buying a DP1 instead of a DP3 policy, which is cheaper and has less coverage, he's gonna look out for me and he's gonna quote me for that DP1. Again, DP1 only covers wind and fire damage, whereas a DP3 is more for the rental portfolio, which also covers plumbing, underground plumbing. It also covers mold. It also covers theft, and it also covers some of the personal belongings inside the house, like jewelry and sometimes even art. I don't know the exact details of how much you can claim if something like this were to happen, but just to share one of my experiences, I had a rental property. I don't know if you remember. It was a duplex in Miami. And the day I was evicting this family because they wouldn't pay for 3 months, and the day came where the sheriff came into the property, and I was there with the sheriff at 9 in the morning. The guy came in, he opened the door, and he said, guys, he did his basic eviction procedure, which was, hey guys, you have to get out of the property and give possession to Camilo, the homeowner, and you have 2 hours to get everything out. Make sure you get your medicine, make sure you get all your belongings, and he needs to get possession before noon. Well, I went to have lunch, I went to do something, and in those 3 hours they moved everything out, but they didn't like me. Who likes their landlord, especially if they're in the eviction process? Nobody likes them. They grab the bat and they
vandalize the whole place.
Absolutely. And because there were no cameras, we couldn't do a police report showing the damages they did. Of course I knew they did it. They knew they did it. Even the police officers knew they did it based on the story, but unfortunately there was no camera, there was no witnesses, so there was nothing I can do. So luckily, fortunately, I had a DP3 policy, and about 2-3 months later, I get this phone call. I submitted a claim. I wasn't expecting to get paid, and I got a phone call from my insurance agent saying, hey, Camilo, your policy has been approved, your claim has been approved, and you're going to receive a check for like $7,000 or $8,000. I ended up spending like $2,000 fixing up the place to get it ready. So at the end of the day, the insurance policy pretty much covered the months that the property was vacant. But it's the difference between a DP1 and a DP3.
Insurance can be an amazing thing if you know how to use it and if you have an agent that can help you out with that.
Absolutely. Just make sure you have somebody looking out for you and understanding. Make sure you also understand, or he explains to you, the difference in the payments. Because you can always, if you say, oh, the policy, or when they quote you and they say, oh, the policy is too much, you can increase your deductible, you can decrease your coverage so that your payment is less. But on the other hand, if you say, hey, I want a little more coverage, I want a little less deductible, then your price is going to go a little higher. Yeah. And again, it's like the same thing with your car insurance, and it's the same thing with the health insurance. Yeah. So just have somebody expert, unless you really like this topic, just you can become an expert at this. But I don't. We have somebody dealing with it, and we focus on what we do best, which is helping investors find properties so they can fix and sell or fix and rent. Or we also flip properties, and we have a rental portfolio. All right?
Yes. So make sure you know the basics of insurance, because you do have to know in order to have a real estate business. But have somebody in your team that will take care of the details, and they'll know your business and know what's the best policy for your whatever your real estate goals are.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this topic, and I will see you in the next one. This is Michelle and Camilo.
Absolutely. Make sure you subscribe, like it, share it, and comment below if you guys have any questions. All right? See you next time. Take care.